Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Welcome. Wow. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Wow, what an audience. Welcome to the show. Today on the show, we have an amazing show. We're going to be talking about success and sacrifice. I always put the two together because they always go hand in hand. What would you be willing to sacrifice to have complete success and financial freedom? Well, we know that there are some skills needed. You have to have hard work, tenacity, but there's other attributes and variables that you have to consider. Tonight on the show, we're going to be talking to several people that have really figured out what it takes to be successful in the industry. We have national recording artists and actor. This guy's doing some acting. Woody Bradshaw's on the show. Good-looking guy. Looks like he's got the Keith Urban thing going on. He's a good-looking guy, I got to tell you. We also have entrepreneur and author and founder of a company that I'm really interested in right now. It's Bones Mastermind. We got Jeff Martin on the show. Awesome guy. You'll see what I mean. And I have my dear friend Margot Bush as co-host. Margot, give her a hand. We also got a new band sitting in with us tonight. Joint Custody, everybody. Give it up. If you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur and you really want to know what it really takes, stick with us. Don't miss a minute of this episode. We'll be right back, everybody. Stick with us. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. We have an amazing show tonight. That was Joint Custody, everybody. Awesome guys. Keep your eye on them. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Margot Bush. Margot, how are you?
I am tired. I am tired.
We're both a little tired. We spent the weekend together. We went to a music festival, I guess, right?
The
Hangout Fest in the Gulf Coast. And I have to tell you, the lineup was absolutely phenomenal. We interviewed 9 or 10 bands.
9 or 10.
I mean, the Killers were the Outcast. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know half of them. And
I have to say, Margot last night was doing this. It was so weird. I was like, what am I?
He doesn't know.
I have to say, one for me though was a guy named Tom Odell. And if you're not familiar with him, he's a young guy in his 20s, and he's from near the Manchester, West Sussex area, and it's just, this guy is a real thinker. He's like a young Morrissey slash, I don't know, it kind of sounds like a little bit of Morrissey slash Coldplay, and the lyrics and the way this guy writes, if you watch this guy's videos, you're going to be hooked. He's unbelievable. Young guy.
And he's so cute.
So those are two for sure. I'm actually going to go out and buy. I would have that in my car all the time. So really good. And of course, we got Joint Custody.
Yeah.
Right? Joint Custody is amazing. Yep. And I have to say, what I like about any industry, you know, we're going to have a few guests tonight, and we're talking about success and sacrifice. And, you know, being a musician, you see people like Outkast or the Killers or whoever on stage, and you see the end result, right? And you're like, wow, look at where these people are. But behind the scenes, when you're in the media tent doing interviews, you really see how hard everybody works. Yeah. You know, a lot of my favorite musicians, I know over the years, you read that they're hospitalized from being, you know, fatigueness, and they really
many of
work.
them, when I talked to the publicist, I mean, they had interviews every 15 minutes on the dot for 3 days.
Well, and they'd come off stage. They'd come off stage still out of breath, and they're already into an interview. They haven't even cut their breath from performing, and long hours. I know when we interviewed Matt and Kim, who I absolutely adore, they said that they sacrificed. They slept in a twin mattress, both of them, while they were kind of getting their start.
And I think we interviewed him like at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, very admirable, very hard workers. And of course, that's what it takes in any career to be successful, right? There's a lot of sacrifice. We have an amazing show tonight. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to national act. This guy is just absolutely phenomenal. Woody Bradshaw is going to be back with us. Stick with us. We'll be right back, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. That was Joint Custody. Give him up. Give it up. I have to say, Frank, you guys are killing. You sound amazing over there. Tell us who we got over there.
Thank you. We got Easton on the guitar. Woo! Matt on the bass. Andrew on the drums. Zach on the congas. My name is Frank, and we are Joint Custody.
Yeah! Thanks for sitting in, guys. We appreciate it. So we've been talking a lot about young entrepreneurialism and success, and I have to say, you know, starting out, I started off very young, me and my brother, and it's difficult. You know, starting young, there's pros and cons, right? Sometimes you're always worried about if people will take you serious or not. But I just wanted to give a shout out real quick to Curry and Riley Barker. They're in the audience. They're young actors, and they actually have a new independent film coming out called Something's in the Woods. And I'll tell you, it's really cool to see young guys getting involved with some really fun projects. And you can actually check out the trailer of the movie is already out. It's on YouTube. Something's in the Woods. Check it out, and you'll find out what exactly is in the woods. Pretty scary stuff. But anyways, I just wanted to give them a shout out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome author and entrepreneur Jeff Martin, everybody.
All right. We're here.
How are you, bro?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
Good. Thank you.
I am so glad that you and your mustache could make it. When you travel, you have to get it its own. No, it's very cool. I would grow something like that, but I look like Pancho Villa if I don't shave for a few days.
Not good for the job.
It's not good, and you know, the hair is kind of enough. So, but Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. And I really want to cram a lot. I think we could sit here all day because we're kind of cut from the same cloth. Now, first of all, I know you're the president of AVS Systems, and you've authored a few books, but also you're the founder of the Bones Network, which is Business Owners Network for Entrepreneurial Solutions.
Right.
Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yes.
And it's really cool what you guys are doing. But let's talk real quick. How did you get started as an entrepreneur, or more specifically, the service industry? That's a pretty tough industry.
It is. Well, I started out in the security industry back in the mid-'70s. Happened to be in South Florida. Mm-hmm. Met my mentor, the fellow who looked just like Telly Savalas.
Love Telly.
The bald head, the big gold medallion. Yeah. And he hired me one day. Kojak, yep. He hired me, and he was a true entrepreneur. And he introduced me to the service industry from what's called recurring monthly revenue and how to build bases. And as a result, we had that business for about 7 years. I became a full partner with them, and that was our first sale. My first sale was to Honeywell.
Oh, yeah, I know them.
And Honeywell International came in and bought us out. And at that point, it was, now what do I do? I was a young guy and had a whole bunch of money. And
never a good combination for most.
Never a good combination. As many young people find out, you can blow it real quick. So in a matter of about 2 years, we went through several $100,000, but had a great time.
Yeah.
Had 3 houses, and one in the mountains and that, and realized you better get back to work, get back in business.
Sure.
And so the service industry is something I knew.
Yeah.
So how to deal with that. In the service industry and the security side is you put a security system in, you do service work for them, monitoring these things. But there are many other similarities. Yeah. If you have a pool at your house and you pay for a pool service, there's another one.
Sure.
Air conditioning companies that have a regular contract or maintenance. The termite people are in the service industry. Mm-hmm. So all of these are similar, and I've worked with several of them to show them a little bit more about how to capitalize on that service side.
Well, not just work with them. I know that you've actually built and sold at least 5 security companies. Let me ask you a question. A lot of people would build something and then they say, this is going to be around for this. But you kind of build them, get them to where they need to be, where everybody's monetizing. You kind of put systems in order and then sell them. Why do you find that to be your best exit strategy or recipe?
I found that it becomes from the entrepreneurial standpoint, the thrill is in the growth.
Yeah.
How to make it happen, how to get it up there, how to make it big. When it gets to a certain point, I get bored.
Sure.
I get bored with it, and I want to do something else. And so at that point, when it gets to that level, somebody else out there will buy it from you for a very sizable amount of money. So I've been able to do that 5 times. Just in the security industry, I also built a couple of invisible fence franchises that were here in the state of Florida. I also built a technology home business, which was all about all the new electronics. And all of that has some kind of monthly service revenue that's built into that.
Well, and you seem to me one of those guys that just kind of has the Midas touch. You know, I think that most companies are built on 3 things. You have the product or the service, you got the people, but then the systems are so big. And I think that accounts for at least half the company's growth and success is putting the proper systems in place. Seems that you have those systems that you just, whatever the field, you can just keep putting those, and it always works for you.
Very similar.
I know that you've also authored several books. Your first book was Double Your RMR. What is RMR? I know what ROI is, right. But RMR, talk a little bit about that.
Well, ROI is the result.
I see now.
Recurring monthly revenue.
Yeah.
And recurring monthly revenue is what we all look at of, I don't want to go to work next week or next month, but how do I make an income? Recurring monthly revenue, when you build your business based on that, that money's going to keep coming in. Yeah. You've got to provide good service to keep the customers happy, keep them coming to you, they'll refer you, and the recurring revenue builds constantly.
Now, talk briefly about Bones Mastermind. What's it all about? How did you get started?
You're an entrepreneur, you know, other people that are in the business, we all have similar problems. And the problem could be, how do I market?
Sure.
How do HR? How do I get new employees? What are you doing for insurance? Could be simple things like that. When we create a mastermind, Bones Mastermind is a little different than a lot of them because we facilitate. We bring in a good speaker on a topic, on a business topic of interest to you right now. We're talking about social media. I've had a social media guru come in and talk just about how to set it up, how to get your Facebook, how to do your Twitter, how to set your business up with that independent. We have a program on that. Then we break into a round table. And the round table is when you really get to know the people on the other side of the table and how can they help you, but how can they help you by you expressing, here's my problem, here's something I'm working on, how can I make it better?
Encourage everybody to share too and say, here's what I found.
That's right.
That's amazing.
You might hear, that's a really dumb idea.
Yeah, and I did it and it didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
I lost my tail on that one.
Good.
Or there was a better way. I tried it, I tweaked it, and that just saved you 6 months, a year in time. Yeah. How do I, what are the shortcuts?
You don't have to take that learning curve.
Right.
What I like about tell us real quick about who's this for? Like what type of people would you say are candidates?
So it's for business owners only, guys that can make the decisions, that want to hear it, and that are open and will take constructive criticism, will be critiqued, and will also be accountable. Because if you tell me, hey Jeff, I really need to make a change and get rid of 3 people and hire somebody else. Next month, I'm going to ask you, did you do it?
Yeah, there's some accountability there.
Right.
Which you don't see in a lot of these groups. Where can people get more information?
Go to bonesmastermind.com.
I'm telling you, you're going to want to get involved with this. Very impressive program. And again, I think you have that touch that anything you touch really works. And it's really the systems you've put in place. You got to check it out. And I'll tell you, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. We'd love to have you back when we can spend more time and really dig into things. We're out of time, guys. Thank you so much for the show. I want to give a special thanks to my buddy here, Jeff Martin. Also, we want to thank Woody Bradshaw and Margot Bush. And don't forget to get involved in your local community and be forgiving of others. Joint custody, take us out. Welcome back to the show. Welcome. That was Joint Custody you were listening to. Give it up. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Woody Bradshaw, everybody.
I could do it all day.
How are you, bro?
Good.
Woody, I'm so jazzed to have you on, man. You know, we've actually been spending some time together. I don't want that to sound weird, but I've been getting to know each other a little bit. And I have to say, man, I really dig what you're about. You're going to find out what he's about. But you've really done it all. And the reason I wanted to have you on tonight is because you know a lot about what we've been talking about, which is success, but also sacrifice. You know, anytime in any genre, I think when you're really going towards success, there's a lot of bumps and bruises you're going to take. You're going to take your share of bloody noses and a lot of things to overcome. And I think especially in the entertainment field, you know, whether that be acting or music, and you've kind of done them both, it's not an easy thing. Talk a little bit with me about, I know you've done, you started off, I know you were a music enthusiast, right, from a very young age.
Yes.
And then you kind of transitioned into acting.
Well,
and,
actually, my brother was the musician.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the shy one. And
Yeah.
I was always into sports, but I just loved listening, and I'd sing with him on with the piano. And my mom was a big music lover, but she was also a drama teacher. So I kind of gravitated to the theater side of things.
Sure.
And so I went to Florida State University, and
Give it up for Florida State. Everybody was like, oh, can we?
and anyway, one spring break, I went to New York City to see
Yeah.
what it'd be like when I became a big actor, you know, in New York City. And I would never return.
Yeah.
You know, I met this big producer. We had a friend who knew this producer, and
He had worked with some.
he worked with Pacino, Raquel Welch, and Tennessee Williams, and he did the whole Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
You know, and I was lured in, but anyway, I moved up there, and
Yeah.
I was kind of dumb enough to think I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, with no problem.
Well, you did do it.
You did
but,
do it. You were on a soap.
No, I
That's
know. I
Still
got
doing
the
it.
God shine on me.
But
I was-
sure,
I was-
everybody thinks they are the Brad Pitt level, and yeah.
Well, but anyway, no, I actually mean it's
Yeah.
so hard. I mean, I picked the two hardest, careers as
Yeah.
acting and music probably, and I was dumb enough to believe it. And sure enough, probably my first audition got on the soap. So
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it worked out. And incidentally, everybody would have done the same thing if the guy legitimately works with names like Pacino, and you know, you're going to be in. Talk a little about in the beginning though. You know, obviously, I can imagine when I first told my mom, you know, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and she's like, yeah, I don't know what that means. But especially like with music or acting, you say, Mom, I'm going to be an actor, or I'm going to be in music. I mean, I gotta imagine there's a lot of naysayers. Even people that care about you probably are trying to protect you, saying, oh my God, are you kidding me? You need a real job. And most of us went through that where it's like, get a real job type thing. How hard was it to pull the trigger and say, you know what, this is more than just a passion. I'm gonna actually go for it. I'm moving to this big city, New York, and I'm gonna just give it a shot. How difficult is that?
Well, I was not a great student, like in high school.
Yeah.
And I had a tennis scholarship, which kind of saved my life. And then I thought, that's when I started thinking, what can I not do? So people used to call me Hollywood, you know, in high school. And so
You shouldn't have told me that. That's gonna stick. But go ahead.
When I went to Florida State, it was funny. My mom, you know, she was very supportive. But I have a dad who's a big CEO, and usually that doesn't fly well. You know, when your son's going to go in the arts. But even he was like, in his fatherly, you know, tough. He's like, son, I don't think you can do anything else. So go for it.
Wow.
He didn't mean that.
Yeah.
But anyway, and also getting on the soap right away was very
Helped.
encouraging to them.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay. So, so yeah, it was not hard for me to think about it. I mean, I've always thought big.
Yeah, sure.
And luckily I've had the support, you know, from my folks.
But and did you do the whole like eat ramen noodles, crash with some roommates? Did you do that whole thing or grind it out?
Well, no, I didn't have to do that, but I did start as a trainer, Jeff Martin Studios, and it was a workout facility, and I actually taught. I was probably the only straight aerobic teacher in New York City. So anyway, and that was, you know, I did.
So you did other
well
things while you were supporting
well,
yourself.
luckily not too long before I got
Yeah,
that
sure.
soap.
And the soap was big. I know it aired on ABC. Is that right?
It's on ABC.
Yep. And you were you gave it a long run, and that soap it launched some other big people.
The soap had Bryan Cranston from
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Love it.
And then Peterman on
I
Seinfeld.
love
You know,
it.
Elaine's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are guys, you know, I thought when I met them, I think this is.
I don't see this happening.
On there. This is going to be it. But Bryan Cranston's amazing. So.
Yeah, amazing.
And he was a really good guy. Really helped me a lot.
Now, how did you transition from the acting to music?
Well, it was an interesting story. I mean, I went to LA. I got this new manager. He handled crews, and he was like, we're gonna do films, and so I went up there with him, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was very idealistic, and they were telling me what I was gonna be and how big. And,
sure.
And basically, but I found myself kind of that was kind of when I was growing up. I was trying to find my identity. I thought I'm more than what I think they see, and so I just started writing kind of like psalms and poems, and people were like, "That came out of you?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah."
We thought you were just a pretty boy.
I've got a person, you know, I've got something to say.
Yeah.
Something in there.
And so that kind of went, you know, to the next was music, and I would always loved it. And I did study some when I was going up for Broadway stuff in New York. But I thought I'd love to write music, and but I didn't know that was really in me until I saw one of my mom's heroes was Jimmy Webb. He's a great songwriter, made Glenn Campbell's career. And I saw him live at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel.
Great hotel.
Yeah, and it was just him on the piano. He's not a great singer at all, but it was just the emotion he conveyed. And I thought that's like a movie. Like you write your own movie and then you act in it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's 4 minutes long. It's got up, you know, it peaks. And, you know.
A resolve and conflict.
Yeah. And I thought, I feel that's in me. And you know, it's one thing to appreciate great, you know, musicians and writers, but I really felt I had that gift. And so I kind of made it my purpose to start writing.
Sure.
I was a tennis pro in Manhattan Beach. That was my other thing I did to support my craft. And anyway, and I had this 20-minute ride, and I just thought, I'll turn the radio off and write my own. And melodies started coming to my head, and lyrics, like off the bat, you know, and the rest is history.
Well, and you're still doing it. And I know that you got a national contract, you got a big recording contract, and then once that was up, I know that you've kind of chosen to kind of stay independent, which I know a lot of people are doing right now because of the integration of, I mean, you have social media, everything is real time, and really it's kind of taken, I think, at least some of the power away from the big record labels to say they control everything and say, hey, if you're good and you really want to get out there, you can develop your own fan base and get heard.
Right.
And
yeah, it's just a different ball game. I mean, since about 2008, well, actually before that, it's just the regular way of doing that is they didn't change, and everything else has, like social media, you know, downloads, change it. You know, people buying singles instead of albums.
Sure.
And then YouTube and.
It's just a different world.
Yeah.
Well, you're still doing it strong. I know that you're performing regularly. I know that you have a lot of very big plans in the work with some festivals. You got some new stuff coming out, right? When can we see some new stuff?
Well, right now, actually, if you go to my website, which is woodybradshaw.com.
Yep.
I have a song. Actually, I wrote, you know, I'm from Pensacola, Florida.
Pensacola! Love that town.
And I was down last summer, and I was doing a photo shoot down there, and I thought, I was on the beach, and I was like, why, you know, I was just feeling it. And I thought, why haven't I written a song about my hometown yet? And anyway, and that same time, the Eagles were doing a documentary on Showtime, which I watched at the same time, and I was so inspired. Went out to the beach for 2 days, and it just wrote itself. And
well, I've heard you perform the song live, and it's absolutely amazing. Go download it. Can they download it?
You can go to my website, woodybradshaw.com.
Woodybradshaw.com.
It's on iTunes, and it's called It's Good to Be Home. You can get it off my site.
You got to check this song out. Please come back when we have more time and perform too, would you?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Woody Bradshaw, everybody. Stick with us. We'll be right back with entrepreneur Jeff Martin. Stick with us. Hi, I'm Dan Vega, and thank you for watching our channel. I want to take a second to tell you about a resource that's helping thousands of people across the country, Blue University. Blue University is the premier online business school for entrepreneurs and business leaders. You know, if you find yourself in a day-to-day grind where you've lost your joy or you're just tired of struggling, then check out blue.university. That's BLU.university. I can promise that you receive nothing short of a multi-million-dollar education. And if you want a completely different life in 3 to 6 months and a way to create wealth in 5 years or less, then again, check it out. That's BLU.university. Find out why blue is the new color of success. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel or to give us a good rating, but that's only if you see value. And when you do receive value, make sure to share it with someone else. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.